Good morning. I hope this finds you well and your Friday and your it's a first full week of 2020. I hope that's going well for you too. Um, really looking forward to sharing a little bit about this story. I kind of told you about it a couple times before, and lots of ands. I am grateful to have you visiting. Uh, Behind me, I've been told that the location where we need to install a new light is distracting, so I apologize for that. It's my coffee station. My mom, when we first moved in, made sure I had a coffee station, so that anybody who has been distracted by that back there, that is, we're gonna install a light there. I haven't found one yet, but my brother-in-law is gonna be kind enough to install it once I do. All right, so one of my greatest passions has been to support others who want to do what they enjoy. And I've been like that since, well, for as long as I can remember. I've had so many people try to tell me that they want to do things that others have said are impossible. And this is even when I was a teenager. I was just like, no, really, that's what you want to do, that's what you should do. I've always had that belief. So I work really hard to support those who are trying to do that. That's part of the reason why I'm reading the stories and why I'm having fun with this. It's why I want to do the interviews on this channel. I want to feature the authors and their incredible talents and who they are and where they're going, so that others can continue to see it's possible. I mean, I've been doing it for 10 years as a single mom, no less, and it's possible. You can do it. You can make it happen. Takes some teamwork, takes a lot of organization, and a whole lot of determination, but there's no reason why it can't be done. All right, so that said, we're going to get into reading Tiana LeBeau's Love Freshly Brewed. And it's a sweet little coffee shop romance thing where a couple meets at the coffee shop and unusual dynamics between them and how they influence their little relationship and that kind of thing. And it's a really, really sweet story. And I've had areas where it's made me laugh. But I'm not actually reading one of those areas, although I probably should have. She let me pick the section, so I'm reading a little bit. She's got two characters, both written in the first person. I'm going to read a little bit from Maria's perspective. I thought it might be a little bit harder for me to read from the man's perspective convincingly, although I really enjoy the chapters with him too. It's just a fun story. And bear in mind, I am not a romance reader. I'm a science fiction reader, therefore, I'm a science fiction writer. I have a great love for creating whole new worlds, whole new universes. That's why you see stars and planets on my channel and that kind of thing. Um, but that doesn't keep me from reading the stories of other writers, especially if I promise that I'm going to do that. And I know there have been a couple of times where I have failed to provide feedback, or books have gotten lost. We've had to reconnect on that, and I've profusely apologized when that's happened. But this is one that's a very quick read. Took me about uh, I want to say it took me about an hour. So when I say quick read, I mean quick read. The first time I read it, and I do read quickly. Don't get me wrong. I've been known to read entire epic length novels in 24 hours. And no, that was not just nonstop reading. I still have a business and a family to run. So it was what it was. But that's not the point. The point is, this nice, fun read, very quick, and it was very enjoyable, even for somebody who doesn't read the genre. So, that said, I'm going to go ahead and read the story. This would be at the point just after Maria has discovered they have an age difference. So she's kind of reconciling this. I only waited outside the coffee shop for about 5 minutes, trying to decide whether or not to go in. Then I realized I was going to be late if I waited much longer. I hadn't gone the day before, trying to avoid Matthew and risk making him uncomfortable at work. I didn't want him to make a scene in front of everyone, and I didn't want to reject him again. But it was Friday. I wanted to get it over with and get back to normal on Monday. I was also still processing the fact that an 18-year-old had sparked my interest. I've never dated a younger man before, much less a whole decade younger. I normally wouldn't even give someone that young a chance. And yet I had gone on a date with him and fully enjoyed it. Now the fact that he lived with his mother and had a little professional experience made sense. I was still living with my parents at 18, and it took a few years to get my first award or professional achievement, which gave me the chance to move on. I had been seeing him at the coffee shop for years, so it never occurred to me that he could be underage, especially with the way he acts. I realized that he must have started working much earlier than anyone else his age. And I did feel slightly impressed. Still, I couldn't shake the weird feeling of dating someone who had just finished high school. I knew I had to talk to him at some point, so I went in and got in line. And when I did, I immediately noticed him catching my eye and saying something to a coworker. A coworker took his place, taking the orders as Matthew came over, asking if we could sit in a corner away from everyone. Once we sat down, I opened my mouth to talk, but I didn't get a chance to do so as he immediately started saying, "I'm really glad you came in today. I wanted to tell you that I'm really sorry if I made you uncomfortable the other day. I was so embarrassed. But I shouldn't have let my friends say those things. I told them off as soon as you left. It's completely disrespectful for them to say those things about anyone. And I told them so many times that they shouldn't be treating women that way. And they act like animals sometimes." He looked directly into my eyes, but was wringing his hands together on the table. It kind of showed that he was nervous. He continued gushing. "I also wanted to tell you that even though I had a great night with you, I understand now that you didn't. I thought you did, which is why I invited you out again. But I was clearly wrong, and I won't bother you anymore, and we could just go back to regular pleasantries in the morning." He took a deep breath and added, "This is your usual place in the morning, and I don't want you to think that you can't come here because of me. I will obviously be completely professional and respectful whenever you are here. We can be adults about this and act like the date didn't happen whatever will be comfortable for you." I hadn't expected this conversation at all, and I felt relief that this was his position. I considered the idea of going back to normal and forgetting the date, but it didn't sit right with me anymore. I expected him to be angry, but his kindness and understanding was more than a lot of guys my own age, especially after I rejected them. As I thought, I realized he hadn't ever treated me with anything less than respect, and it was unfair for me to judge his maturity based on his age. After a few seconds with no reply, he forced out a smile and said, "I'll let you get back in line now and go make your order. Have a great day, Maria." I got up quickly as he turned, and I put a hand on his arm to stop him. "Are you going to show me that new golf course this weekend then?" And he turned and gave me a confused look. "Yes, I thought you didn't want to see me again." I shook my head and explained softly, "I was actually taken aback by your age. I thought you were maybe a few years younger than me, not a full 10. I paused, waiting for him to react to my age. thinking maybe he hadn't realized how big the difference was between us. When he just looked at me, waiting patiently for me to continue, I pushed. That doesn't bother you? He furrowed his eyebrows and shrugged casually. No, why would it? I have fun talking to you, but regardless of our age difference. And that's part of the reason why I like this book. It's so personal. The people are so much people. And they're different dynamics. They're different thought processes. And they're different, and they have to deal with like real things. And it's just a short story, I get it. So you don't get to see all the complexities, but you get the nuances and you get the points, and the characters are fun. And as a writer, she's done a really good job creating that. And I love, love, love that. Um, she's got a whole series of these. There's 4 of them that I'm aware of. And I know she's got other ideas bouncing in her head for this series, but I don't know how far she's gone. So, there's that fun part. If you haven't seen the book, it's 99 cents until tomorrow. When the new book, I think it's called High School Sweethearts, comes out, and that'll be 99 cents. Well, it'll launch a couple days free. A couple days after it's live, it'll be free. And then it'll be 99. It'll go up to $2.99 when the next book is released, or the bundle, or whatever she's doing next. So there's that. But for now, it's 99 cents. So the link is in the description below if you want to pick it up. And if you're a fan of romance, you should totally pick this up. You'll love it. It's a cute, like I said, it's a cute short story. You're not going to get a fully complex story, but when she starts putting out her novels later this year, you know that they are going to be a lot of fun. So there is that. If you would like to tell me what you're reading today or currently, feel free to leave that in the comments or drop it in the chat. I'd love to hear what you're reading and what book suggestions you have. For Monday's Live, I am going to be discussing some of the plans for Xerox and sharing a little bit about some new ventures that I'm getting into that I think all authors should get involved in. And I think it's just going to be a fun day. So, Monday at 9 a.m. I will see you there. Bye.